the strength, the courage, the commitment, the boldness, right? The realization of like, I'm done playing small. I'm done, not really stepping into my power. I'm done not going after the life that I want and sitting on the sidelines and watching everybody else go after the life that they want. I got to be committed to action. That's it. I've got to decide what's important and then just step into it and go after it and not be afraid to do it even if I feel uncomfortable. There's a moment for everybody. And when you come to a fork in the road, right? And I don't know where you guys are in your journey, but for me, I remember this time. And I remember I was getting ready to file bankruptcy. The recession came, things were tough. And I was talking with my coach, and I'm telling her, I said, yeah. And I was just feeling defeated. Like it was just, like my whole, you guys know the feeling, right? When you just feel defeated, deflated, it's like, you feel like you got nothing left in you. And I said, yeah, I'm just gonna, at this point, I really don't have a choice. I'm gonna file bankruptcy and, take it from there. And, you might, I was paying my coach, by the way. Like when we talk about resources and what to, like for me, recession came, I stopped paying on my house. I kept paying my coach. Like that to me was a saving grace. And I'll tell you the story here. And she said to me, she listened. And again, coming from like a sincere, heartfelt place, she said, I never took you for a quitter. And I'm like, well, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. On the defense right away. I'm not quitting. I'm just, this is part of it. This is business. Sometimes things don't work out. This is just what you got to do. And and I'm like, I sense myself with the excuses. And I'm just like, I just don't know any other way. She's like, well, and I was just going over with her the plan, my plan on what I was going to do to get out of it. She said, well, you just told me what you know what to do. I said, yeah, but it's going to take too long and maybe it won't work, and then I'm just going to drag this thing out even further. I don't know how much longer I can handle it. It was only a year before that I was completely depressed, ready to jump off the dock of my back of my house into the water. And now I started to get that under control, my mind under control, everything else was in motion, and then boom, the recession comes. And here I am about to quit. She calls me a quitter. And then she says, how long will it take you to do that plan? I said, 18 months, if I could even, pull it all together. She said, so if you put all your focus, all your energy, keep taking care of yourself and doing the things you're doing for you to stay at your best, it's going to take you 18 months to do that? I'm like, maybe a year. I don't know. And I remember we ended the conversation. I went home feeling defeated still, right? Just feeling like that like the challenge from her, right? Like she challenged me by just saying, I didn't take you for a quitter. And the feeling of like, wow, the bankruptcy would just be relief. This would all be over, right? I wouldn't feel this tremendous pressure just coming down on me. And that next morning I woke up and I had a text from her. And the text said, I just looked it up this morning. Every decision you make is not a decision about what to do. It's a decision about who you are. Right? What's right? What's wrong? Should I? Shouldn't I? Is this the right way? Is that the right way? And now this is what I live by. But that morning I went on a run. I still wasn't convinced. I went on a run. I remember pushing myself harder than I normally push myself. I came back. I'm standing there full of sweat, looking in the mirror, and a little bit of disgust of how I've let this happen, right? How I've allowed my business to get to this place, and I didn't do all the things that I needed to do. And I just remember sitting there, and I remember thinking about her text, And I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you know what? Quit being a little bitch. It's time to put your big boy pants on and go fix this mess that you created. And that was the day I decided to not give up, to keep going. One of many times I decided to not give up and keep going. And that was the day that it took me 6 months to turn everything around. I'm not just pulling numbers out of a hat here, right? This comes from truth. 6 months later, I turned it around, got myself back to a stable place in the business, but also did it with her coaching, right? Being there with me saying, look, do not throw everything you worked so hard for to get your mind right and get your life dialed in over the past year. Don't let that go out the window. Use it to fuel this whole thing. And that's what I did. I allowed it to give me a sense of intensity, a sense of like, this is it. Like I'm going all in, but instead of, it was a different feeling, right? Like when I started my company, my back was against the wall. It felt like total do or die, fight or flight. And even though this was like that, it felt more like it was inspiration. It felt like I had a wind behind me, just pushing me to go forward, and it changed everything. And that's why we're here today, right? From that moment, I went from almost going in bankruptcy to building my company to $20 million, being able to sell it, right? Get into other industries, build up other companies, sell other companies, be here with you guys today, share this message that I hope resonates with at least one of you. Don't give up. You got to keep going. And when you're in those moments and self-doubt comes creeping up and you could feel it, the thing that's yelling at you loud inside, just quit. It's so much safer. Let's just play it safe. Let's just back down. That's the moment you've got to move forward. The strength, the courage, the commitment, the boldness, right? The realization of like, I'm done playing small. I'm done, not really stepping into my power. I'm done not going after the life that I want and sitting on the sidelines and watching everybody else go after the life that they want. I got to be committed to action. That's it. I've got to decide what's important and then just step into it and go after it and not be afraid to do it even if I feel uncomfortable, right? We can't run from that. We've got to move into it, because if we run from it, you're going to run from it your entire life. We need to face it. We need to go through it. So who are you becoming? If every decision we make is about who we are and not about what to do, who are you? Who are you? Who are you becoming? Right? Think about that. Think about your future self, right? Just for a second, if you want, close your eyes. I just want you to think about you 10 years from now. And I want you to just think about the best version you could possibly think of. And when the voices pop up, well, how? How are we going to get there? I don't see how that's possible. Just if everything fell into place and luck just showered down on you and everything, all the problems went away and all the desires came to fruition. And it's 10 years. And along that time, you made tough decisions. And you built that muscle, and you built the self-confidence. What does it feel like to be living from that place? Right? Some of you could imagine it right away. Some of you can't imagine it right away. If you can't imagine it right away, try to go back 10 years. I bet you remember who you were and how you were 10 years ago. Now use that same pathway and go 10 years forward. It's just going to be you, smarter, stronger, wiser, more successful, less stressed, more capable, right? Being able to do bigger, cooler stuff because you've got the ability to do it. Life's flowing versus feeling like such a struggle. From that place, what if you operated every day out of those eyes, out of future you's eyes? Meaning the challenges you face the decisions you have to make, you didn't make them based off who you are right now in this moment, trying to figure out what to do about the situation. You made them based upon who you are and who you're becoming. That's what it means to live your legacy now. Sometimes we've got that inner child that's still having some challenges. Sometimes those voices and those old limiting beliefs are from when you were a kid, or when you were a teenager, or when you were young adult and just struggling with challenges in your life. We've got to tell ourselves a new story. We've got to let go of the stuff that's held us in place this long, and regardless of how successful you are. I do this wrestling match myself, right? It's an easier wrestling match until I go for something big, right? Until I go for something courageous. And I've felt this recently because I'm going for something big, and I'm being bold, and I'm going after it. And you know what I feel? I feel the self-doubt come up. Hey, old friend, right? I know the feeling. You guys know the feeling. Starts all the reasons why you shouldn't keep moving forward, and it's basically just to try to protect you. But think about who you would be 10 years from now if you just stayed in survival mode. If you just stayed trying to protect yourself. If you just stayed trying to, not let your ego get hurt, or not to struggle to fight for something that truly matters for you. I believe we're not going to feel good about ourselves if we do that. That's my belief, right? I like to live by, action or acceptance. This is how I find peace. Action or acceptance. It means everything I come across, I'm either going to accept it 100% how it is. People will be like, well, how could you accept it? It's such a, right? Like, it's such a big deal. Well, then take action on it. Otherwise, accept it and allow yourself to have peace. And maybe where you're at, you're good, right? I'm not telling you you've got to be more if you don't want to be more. But I'm telling you, if you want to be more and you know you're meant for more, you got to take action. Can we all agree we need to take some action? Can I see your hands if you need to take some action? Okay. Yeah, I see you guys in the chat. So, listen, if we know that our old stories aren't serving us, and we know we need to craft some new stories, let's start living from that place. Let's start living from our future self. Let's step into that now and basically, in a moment, in our mind, give ourselves 10 years of capabilities, 10 years of confidence, 10 years of wisdom, 10 years of going through stuff and experiencing it and learning from it and getting better at it and gaining capabilities and getting stronger, right? That's future you. So if you could envision future you, why can't you look through those lenses in every decision you make, as opposed to looking through the lenses of, for me, I started in business at 19, my 19-year-old self. So I look at it and I'm like, hey, which lens am I looking through? The scared 19-year-old that might have been bold to start my own company, but I was still scared. There was a lot of stuff I was very, very scared about, right? All the stuff that would cause somebody to hold them back. But you know what? I look back at it, I'm like, the pattern is I just kept going. I just kept going. And what I could share with you is when you just keep going, when you keep moving forward, life actually gets easier. You start to enjoy the struggles. You start to see them as a worthwhile fight for something that really matters for you, right? So how do we turn those old stories into new stories, right? Think about that for a minute. Just 1 second, this right now, is it, I want you to write this down for yourself. I want you to just think about it. If you want to put it in the chat, put it in the chat. I'd love to see it. If you want to share, that'd be great. But like, what have you been telling yourself? What's the old story? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. This economy. I don't have the support. I'm too old. I'm too young. My English isn't that great, right? I only speak English. Like whatever it is. What is it for you? And then how do you replace that? How do you replace that? Not enough time in the day. I'm not that smart. Listen, all change starts. Thank you for sharing that. All change starts with being honest where we're at. Right? And it's not that you're not that smart. It's that you believe you're not that smart. Why do you believe that? Because you haven't pushed yourself. You haven't challenged yourself. You haven't put yourself in the arena to prove to yourself that you are that smart, that you are that capable. Because all it is capabilities. It's not that you're not smart, right? It's not that you're not smart. You just need to gain some more capabilities, that's all. Everything can be learned. All the muscles can be worked out. Sometimes there's just weak muscles, weak decision-making muscles, weak planning muscles, weak action muscles. We just need to work those things out. And what happens is life doesn't get harder because you take on, I got to take on all this stuff and I got to, make more, I got to build muscles, I got to take action. This is going to be hard. Listen, it's the same thing like getting back in the gym and working out and trying to get in shape. At first it feels hard and then you're on fire. And then you feel better. And then you got more energy. And now you're more capable. That's what this is. This is about building the capabilities and the strength that you need to take on the things you need to take on to build the life, create the life that you want to live. So I just wanted to share that with you today because I want to leave you thinking about that. My hope is that you hear my voice at that moment when that self-doubt pops up. And you remember this conversation. And you choose not to give up. And you keep moving forward. It's the only thing that'll guarantee your success. Keep moving forward. Persist until you succeed. Hey, my friend, before you go, you've got to hurry and watch these next few videos over here. They will absolutely help you take your moving company to the next level. Go watch them now, and I'll see you over there.